Right, how's it going? I hope everyone's good. So, I just thought I'd do this video because this kind of comes up a lot, and it comes up quite a lot in discussions, and that is, how to get a really big piano sound. Those kind of pianos that are just big and dreamy with the sort of long reverb tails that sort of really come out to the front, and just sound big and spatial. So that's what I was going to look at in this video, and I've been sort of experimenting with a few different ways of doing this, and I just thought I'd share it with you. So start off with, of course, we're going to need a piano of some description. So I'm going to look at Kontakt, and you know what, this piano, I tend to use it quite a lot. It's the Steinway Grand, and it's by John Mayer Music, and I think this one I got from Piano Book, which is a great resource for different sounds and Kontakt libraries if you want to go and check that out. Obviously I'll leave any relevant links in the description and a little bit more info down there so you can check that out. So once we have a piano sound, let's just check. Okay, so the first thing I would do generally to try and make a piano sound big, one of the first things that I would do is obviously, you might not know this, but it's compression, basically. And I think for the purpose of this, I don't know. I mean, you could use any compressor, really. I'm going to use this one. So this one's by Tone Boosters, but again, any compressor will do. And what I'm looking to do with this is, with the ratio and the threshold, I want a really fast attack time so that it tucks back down the transient of the piano. And then also with that, I'm going to have a fairly fast release time so that then releases the compression and brings the tail of the piano back up. So let's see what we can get if we go like that. I'm going to use a little bit more ratio and threshold to So what's happening there is it's tucking the transient back down, then the compression is sort of easing off and bringing the tail back up. The other thing I'm going to do for the purpose of this video as well is on the actual MIDI track that the piano is inserted on, I'm going to use the MIDI modifier to adjust the velocity so that I'm not getting as much sort of dynamic when I press the key, because I actually, for this, I want each note to be relatively loud. So I'm just using the velocity shift so that I get a fairly constant velocity when I'm playing the notes. Okay, so at this point, one thing we might do is insert, delays and reverbs. So I'm just going to insert them for now on the track, and then I'm going to show you what I do to sort of go a little bit further than that. So one is replica. I'll use this delay plugin from Native Instruments. And then I'm just going to change. That, which I generally like to low cut slightly, add a little bit of saturation, and yes, we'll go with that. Then what I'm going to do is add a reverb, and I think for this I will go with this one. It's another one by Native Instruments, and it's called, I've always pronounced it Rayum, but I've heard somebody else pronounce it Rom or Ram. Who knows? Let me know in the comments. So with this, I'm going to put on, you know, this has got a 4.8 second reverb tail on this, a decay. So I'm going to see what this sounds like. Now, we're already getting there with this sort of big, wide sound that, you know, you're generally kind of looking for when you want to do those dreamy pianos, especially in electronic music, that kind of thing. So okay, with that, I could then obviously adjust the mix of the reverb and the delay. But what I'm going to show you here is where I go a little bit further than that. And I'm going to call this piano. I'll call this piano main for the purpose of this. And then I'm going to create a couple of groups or buses. Certainly called groups in Cubase, but in Logic or other DAWs, you might want to do this, you know, with AUX tracks and busing to those AUX tracks. Essentially, they're sends. You might say they're effects sends. But in Cubase, I'm going to create a couple of groups, and I'm going to call this effects. So I'll get two groups down here, effects 1 and effects 2, and I will, just to be clear, call this delay and this one reverb. Okay, so just going to color code these. So what I'm going to do now is, on this track where I've got the delay and the reverb, is I'm going to move the delay over to one of the buses and the reverb over to the other one. And then what I'm going to do is send the piano track to those. So send it to the delay and send it to the reverb. Okay, so now when I play this, it's extremely loud, and the one reason it is because what we need to do now, as we've got these as sends rather than on the track, is turn the mix up to 100% on both of those plugins. So, sorry, that one was off screen when I did that. Replica, I've just turned the mix up to 100%, and with, I'm going to call it Rayum, because that's what I've been calling it for ages. Now it's probably wrong, but I'm going to turn the mix up to 100%. So now we have both of those go into these effect sends, which we can then essentially mix our wet and dry, but by using the faders on the groups. Okay, so let's see what that sounds like. So now we have our effect sends. Here's one thing that I wanted to sort of show you that you can do with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these sends for the time being and start again with that. And what I'm going to do on the delay channel is turn off the output. So we're not going to hear the delay. We are actually turning off the output of the delay. Okay, so I did that wrong. No bust. So there's no output on the delay channel now. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is send the piano track to the delay track, like so, but then I'm going to send the delay track to the reverb. So we're not going to hear the delay track on its own. All we're going to hear is the delay track going through the reverb track. And then this will sound like this. And the other thing that I'm just going to do is change the timing on the delay slightly. Now, also when I do this with the sends, what I want to do is make them pre-fader. Okay, so that when I turn the main piano track down, the effects will still stay at the same level. Because what happens now is if I turn the main piano down, so it also turns down the effects, as you can see there. So if I put this to pre-fader, okay, so even if I have the piano track turned all the way down, we will get the wet signal, the process signal. So that's all that's coming through there on our tail, and that's the delay going through the reverb channel. So now I can bring in the dry piano underneath the effects, so we kind of get this sound. Okay, so it's certainly interesting. What I'm going to do is actually switch this reverb for a different one. And this one I'm going to put onto here. This is one that I set up already on this project, sort of really, and sorry it's off screen again, but this is one that I set up and sort of started to really sort of tweak this to try and get the sound that I wanted. And with this reverb, it sounds like this. Okay, so as you can hear, that's definitely got this nice big kind of spatial effect coming in after the piano, and it's the process of the delay being affected by the reverb and only going through that channel. And of course, from this point on, you could then really start to experiment with it, and that's what I've done really. And you could even put some compression after the reverb, okay, to then bring the reverb up even more, you know, so you get that same effect. So it's going to elongate the tail, you know, or create more sustain and a longer decay in the reverb. You could go in all sorts of different directions with this, but this is what I wanted to share with you for now, and I'll probably come back with another video and sort of expand on this a little bit. You know, I didn't really want to rush through this. I just wanted to sort of go through step by step, and I really hope it helps. Definitely have a play around, because of course the other thing that you could do now when you have it set up like this is swap the reverb and the delay onto those other channels, and you could also continue this. So maybe send that reverb channel to another reverb channel with the output turned off until you kind of accumulate all of these tracks that don't have any output, but they've all got effects on, then going through one output at the end. And maybe I'll come back and explain that, you know, slightly better in another video and give you a bit of an example as to what I mean. But you know, this kind of processing chain could continue on through a number of groups or buses until you have all those effects lined up, and then one output at the end with all of the effects on, is basically what I mean. And what I'll do is just leave you with, literally, I put the effects on this piano track, and I just sort of went like that and just ended up literally just jamming, just playing some chords because it sounded really nice. And I will play that back to you as it was captured. The only other thing that I've done in this project is sort of layered the affected piano with a clean piano. So if I just play some of these notes, and I haven't finished this tune, it's not mixed and mastered properly yet, or, you know, not mixed, I should say. So I've got one clean piano, and that is actually how that piano sounds. It's the Foundations piano by Heaviosity, if I'm saying that right. And then that's then layered with the affected piano, so that the two are together. So And yeah, it sounds like that. So I'm just going to let that play out now so you can have a listen to what I was sort of experimenting with the other evening. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If that's the case, please give it a like and subscribe, because I will be back with more videos very soon. And for all the music that I make, just search Shotty for HF in all the usual places, wherever it is you get your music from. Search it there and you should be able to find it. And if you can check that out, it's massively appreciated. The one way that you can support me and support my channel and support what I'm doing is simply by listening to the music and hopefully enjoying it. So if you can do that, nice one. And that's it for this video. I'll be back soon. Until the next one, take it easy, stay creative, keep smiling, sound.